Greetings, Warriors. Griffin, how you guys doing? Welcome back to the Good Game Griffin Gaming channel where we force to set us the game and breath into the video. Guys, quick video. Okay, I'm sorry if I'm whispering a little bit. This is literally me maybe a couple hours after the live stream of RE2 that we did celebrating the 5K subscribers. Okay, and it is now 1:04 a.m. And the only reason I'm doing this is because it's Sunday. I don't have the gym in the morning, so I can sleep a little bit longer. But I wanted to make this because I had a recent change of opinion. Okay, a recent change of opinion, and it's my fault. Sincerely apologize, because I completely forgot about something that did not click in my head, and I'm going to defend myself on this. So an acquaintance of mine, me and her were talking when I was playing RE2, and she said something that I completely forgot about. You guys know as RE fans that there were two Resident Evil games that some fans do not take seriously. I understand half of it, and the other half, it's like, hey, it is still following the lore technically. So there's Resident Evil Darkside Chronicles and there's Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles. Now, I played Resident Evil Darkside Chronicles a lot more than I did Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles. Now, at the time that it came out, when I played it on the PS3, I like Leon a lot, so I played Darkside Chronicles a lot more than Umbrella Chronicles. But I did play Umbrella Chronicles once and twice. But I completely forgot about a certain cutscene. Of course, you guys saw the title of the video and everything, what we're going to be discussing. My opinion about that monster being Lisa Trevor is now for me turned a complete 180. Okay, now the reason why it's turning a complete 180 because Umbrella Chronicles can follow a story in a sense. This is a situation where in Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles you actually play as Wesker escaping the mansion, something that they did not show in the original Resident Evil and also the remake. Okay, so this was like extra lore and everything on how Wesker got out. Okay, now the reason why I want to say this, bear with me real quick, because there was a comment that did say that Umbrella Chronicles and Darkside Chronicles don't mean itch to the timeline. They're just extra fun games. Yes, they are very fun games. However, they do pertain to the story, especially in Darkside Chronicles, because we finally got to see Leon and Krauser and how they became, partners and how they knew each other and everything of that nature. And I'm not going off of the remake. Okay, I want to put that out there. I'm not going off of the remake on how they switched that. That's besides the point. Okay, so they do have something significant in this matter, in my honest opinion. Now, Umbrella Chronicles, there is a part where you play just as Wesker and you escape the mansion before it explodes. And Lisa Trevor is the final boss before Wesker finally does leave. Now, I want to show this. This video was actually uploaded 7 years ago by Baldy Payne. I didn't ask for his permission to use this video or anything like that, so I'm sincerely apologize. I don't know if he's watching the video probably now. This was 7 years ago, but I will leave a link to the in the description for his video to give him credit, honest credit. Okay, now I'm only going to show you the ending part. This is after he already made the final shot and Lisa is about to go down. Now watch this.
Be a good girl and stay dead this time.
And after that, there's a whole cutscene of Wesker running out of the mansion through the forest, all that stuff like that. And there's a countdown and everything of this nature. And it kills me when I saw this, because in the forest, that's when they saw the the dogs and everything like that. Where are they at now? You know what I'm saying? So I do want to put that out there. I had a recent change of heart. I was literally lying in bed looking at the reveal trailer, and I just kept looking, and I kept looking, and I just kept looking. And then a very, very recent comment as the time of making this video just made me like, yo, I gotta freaking make this video and get this off my chest to like tell you guys. Okay, so let's go back to the reveal trailer real quick. Okay, give me just a second. All right, I'm pulling something up here. Ashcroft. All right, I'm gonna put images up here so we can see homegirl in her full glory. Okay, now Miss Lisa Ashcroft. Okay, I do not think the big woman that we saw crawling down the wall in that hallway, I do not believe that is Lisa Trevor. Okay, I'm going to now change my opinion officially, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Like I said, it's fun to speculate, but I had to make this video because it's fun. I honestly believe that is not Lisa Trevor no more. And the reason why, okay, one, it's tough to kill Lisa. In that whole Umbrella Chronicles thing, you actually fight Lisa twice. Okay, and you fight her twice when you play as Wesker. And of course, the ending part is when the chandelier hits and it goes and it explodes. Now, Lisa cannot be killed or is very difficult to kill. I'm going to have a hard time believe that homegirl managed to get away from that chandelier, crawl out of there, and get out of the mansion or wherever she needs to go to avoid the explosion. I have a hard time believing that unless Capcom comes up with something very extraordinary for me to believe that. Okay, and plus, now we're also taking this into perspective that this is taking place 2024, 2025, whatever, very, very recent updated. There was a comment that made sense that every mainline Resident Evil has always gone further. And we just saw like flashbacks and stuff. that they kind of have a valid point on that. I'm not gonna say kind of, they have a very valid point on it. It's always going into it. The timeline is always going forward in mainline Resident Evil games. At least if they're, I don't know. I was like, besides 3, where it takes place between 2 and 3, all that good stuff like that. Besides 3, everything has been canon going forward in life. The survivor's always getting older. You know what I mean? You got Dark Side Chronicles and Umbrella Chronicles. Those games, those are transcending into the events that have already happened. Now, Umbrella Chronicles, they're showing something that they did not show in the original game, which is Wesker escaping. Going back to Miss Ashcroft here, okay? I'm looking at her, and like I said, this is when I started to have a different opinion. I'm looking at her, and I'm looking at her hair. I go to the reveal, I'm looking at her hair. Now, this is her modern. Her hair is short, right? A little bit short. And it looks a bit white, blondish white, maybe, And then as we look at the final image in here, look at the hair. Y'all see that? Now, I think you guys are probably understanding where I'm getting at. Like this very quick video. I'm not even gonna freaking monetize it. I think you guys are seeing what I'm bringing here. This hair looks short, way identical, all that stuff like that to this right here and to this right here. It looks too identical, dog. I cannot just say like, yeah, that's Lisa. But now I took it, not only that, I also took a closer look at Lisa's face. Yeah, I'm sorry, home. Yeah, no, that's I highly don't think it's Lisa no more. But it was valid that myself and the other fans thought that it could be Lisa because of the chains. Okay, we're not far-fetched. That's what I'm saying. I'm giving myself some grace here because I didn't just pull Lisa Trevor out of my booty. Okay, there was a reason why I thought it was homegirl. But I also said in my video, I'm gonna give myself some credit that I did say that I thoroughly do not think that is Lisa. I wouldn't put money on it. I don't think it's Lisa simply because it's so far in the timeline. I have a hard time believing if it is that far into, if it is present, this takes place in the present. I have a hard time believing that in 30 fucking years, give or take, around approximate, that Lisa Trevor has just been roaming free and just got super big. I have a hard time believing that. Thing about Resident Evil, right? When we saw the hood, we saw the dude in the hood, right? We saw all that. That reminded me a little bit of Resident Evil 5, whereas once the hood unveiled, it was a surprise guest. Which I'm not gonna lie, when I first played RE5, I was like, that's probably someone that we already know. That's probably Jill, because the way Chris ended that, I was like, yeah, Jill ain't dead. And plus, it's Chris. If Chris is there, Jill's probably gonna be there too. All right, and in that time. So seeing that, I still believe that could be Leon. Sure, that opinion has not changed at all. But this is the main topic. This is the main thing. I think, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm talking so damn much. I think, okay, that he said your mother was murdered 8 years. But they're not gonna. It's like Capcom does this. I'm not gonna call it crap. I almost said crap, but Capcom does this so much. They try to leave a surprise. I'm going to think that homegirl, yeah, she died, but not died. If you get where I'm going with that, I don't think she was. Well, yeah, of course, yeah, she was murdered. But you guys know what I'm getting at. Long story short, I think that this thing right here in the end with the whole short hair that resembled Miss Alyssa here, I think we're looking at Alyssa Ashcroft in mutated form. Something happened to her 8 years prior when she went missing, or well, he said murdered. Now I'm not, that's what I'm saying. When he said murdered, I don't know if we confirmed the body or not. That was never confirmed or anything like that. But even if they did confirm a body, right? That still don't mean ish. Or they probably looked at her body, was okay, she dead. Nah, they probably took her body and whoever did. Okay, some people are saying Oswald E. Spencer had something to do with that. Maybe, maybe not. But one thing we know for certain, Wesker killed that mofo. So I don't think Wesker let that mofo, like, we saw what happened to him. All right, so I don't hope no one's thinking Spencer is doing all this right now. No, I do not think that at all. I think Wesker killed him and it's a wrap. I don't think Wesker's gonna just go off on that. Sorry guys, I just wanted to change my opinion on that. I wanted to put it on video and put it on record. And so when this game comes out, we will see. I can finally 100% say, after looking at it so many times, looking at different pictures, looking at Umbrella Chronicles, all that good stuff like that, I thoroughly believe that homegirl here that we're looking at right here is Miss Alyssa Ashcroft mutated after whatever happened to her 8 years ago. We don't know. We don't know if she was captured. We don't know who murdered her. We don't know any of that nature or anything like that. All we know is that according to the homie in the beginning, she's dead. Okay? But we all know in Resident Evil, things don't just stay dead. Okay, I don't know how many times we've heard that line. Things just don't naturally just stay dead in Resident Evil. It comes back at some way, somehow. Okay, I think this is Miss Ashcroft here because everything is just too much of a resemblance for this, and it's mainly the hair. It's mainly the hair. You got this hair right here, and plus Lisa Trevor, her mouth wasn't too totally intact. It looked really off. Okay, but like I said, I'm gonna give myself some grace that there's a reason why I thought it was probably Lisa Trevor. But I'm here to put on record that I think that the big lady that we saw, that we see here in the hallway, that thing right there, yeah, 100%. I think that's Alyssa Ashcroft. Now, I'm not going to say could it be a stalker enemy or anything. I'm not sure. I'd be more than fine with them bringing that back because I do like the suspense of that. If they don't bring it back, that's fine too. The fan base is kind of split on that. I have confirmed that they're kind of split that they think it's gonna be a stalker. They think it's not gonna be a stalker, and they say they would like to be a stalker. They said they don't like to. Either or, case by case, doesn't matter. I don't know, but I do think right here, this is Miss Ashcroft here, and she's still alive technically, because as we all know, she was a reporter, and I think she actually had a hand in bringing down Umbrella. So I would not be surprised Umbrella wanted their vengeance. From what it looks like, they got it. All right. But I just want to put that out there, y'all. I gotta edit this video and then go to bed so I can go to work. I'm sorry, y'all. I love this. I love this. I'm still too damn excited. Anyway, guys, y'all have a good one. Take care.